Okay, this is our thoughts on the season 8, episode 5 of Game of Thrones.
Second to the last, baby. And
And
it did not disappoint, boys and girls.
it disappointed
Except
me.
1 point for me. 1 point was disappointing.
It disappointed me, like a lot. But let's get into it. Okay, so the beginning of the episode, we see that Varys is talking to one of his little birds, and she's saying how she thinks that the Unsullied have noticed her going to the Queen and then going to Varys, and he says that's their job. But then we see a scene with Tyrion going to Daenerys and telling her, like, you've got somebody that's betrayed you. She says Jon Snow first, and he's like, no, Varys. And then she talks about how Jon Snow was the root of it all. But anywho's,
I think that at that point, Tiny Guy was just trying to save his skin.
no. Well, it's Varys. And
No, but he went and did that because I felt like he was trying to save face with her.
I think, no, I don't think so. I think he was still being truthful to his queen and wanted to be honest with her. But then, so of course she says that he needs to die. Well, like, it's not on camera, but on camera they show the Unsullied going to his chambers and getting him in the middle of the night, and he is taken to, like, was it like a beach?
Well, I guess so. Or outside the I guess,
He was outside.
castle area where they're at.
And he's there. Tyrion is there. There's some Unsullied. There's Jon Snow. And Tyrion goes up to him and says, it was me. And Varys was saying, I hope you're right about her. Basically saying, I hope you're right about her being the right person to be on the Iron Throne. And then Drogon fucking blasts that dude.
Which is appropriate, because if you have a dragon and people cross you,
You should
your
be
dragon
blasted, yeah.
should do your dirty work.
Yeah.
But
I saw that coming. Like, that was not a disappointment.
Yeah.
I saw that coming, to be honest.
I honestly thought throughout the whole time that the Tyrion was gonna get it too. I'm disappointed he didn't get it also, because just the way he went about everything was just terrible. He's just a terrible thinker. If that's her
Hand of the king.
then he sucks terribly.
Well, okay, so
He might be smart at other things, but at handling people's relations and things of that sort is just terrible.
I feel like he is too kind and forgiving, and he constantly feels like people are going to give their best of themselves, and that's not what happens.
Yeah, it's not. He was like that too before all this. He just had a sudden shift of moral compass, and he expects everybody else to jump along with him in it. So
yeah. Well, any hoosers, we see that so the next day it's daybreak, and we see the Iron Fleet, and
they have this little. Jon Snow has this conversation with the armies, and they're all like, "Well, what are we doing?" And he's like, "We're attacking at daybreak." And they're like, "What the hell? Like, are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's what she wants." And he's making it very apparent that she's, that's what she wants, whatever. But you skipped over the point where Jon Snow goes into the chambers with a dragon woman and wants to speak to her. She tells that other dude, "It's okay, leave, let's talk." So at this point, she knows she still killed that dude, but she still wants to be a good queen. So in her moment of vulnerability, she asks Jon Snow, "Am I only your queen?" and proceeds to kiss him to seek that affection. And goes on a big spiel, and she's like, "They fear me, but I want their love." And through Jon Snow, she figures that she would get it, but he shuns her.
I could see why she would be pissed off.
And I mean, she probably was holding back all her emotions and everything because of Jon Snow, of what happened to that lady. So now that he's shunned her, she's just like, I'm just gonna burn the whole city down. I don't care. And I saw it. I saw it in her eyes. And
Well,
I
that
mean, you want to keep? You want to continue after this?
well, well, the next scene is just daybreak.
It's
When
day. It's daybreak, but also before anything juicy happens, she talks with Tyrion, and she's like, "Hey, by the way," oh no, she tells him before that. By the way, we captured your brother, and if you mess up one more time, you're getting the dragon too. So this dummy decides that he's gonna go break his brother free. So I'll let you continue on that one.
so he goes to the tent. He tells the Unsullied, uh, basically to fuck off because he's the hand of the queen, and so they fuck off. And so he tells Jamie when he goes inside that I have a key. I need you to escape with the queen if you want to. Go to a dinghy that's going to be on the
He
shore.
basically sets up their whole escape.
Yeah, he sets up a whole escape plan for Jamie and Cersei, knowing full well that if Daenerys finds out, he will be killed, but he still does it for some reason.
Well, because he makes it apparent that he knows that he's gonna get killed because of this.
Yeah, and
But he's sacrificing his own life so that he can get the queen to basically give up and ring the bells.
yeah, and that was also another thing that if they were to give up, they were going to ring the bells and open the gates.
And everything was gonna stop.
Yeah.
No more mindless murder.
Yeah,
Just
that was the main thing.
concern of his
Yeah.
was the less collateral damage as possible he wanted. So
And so next day, daybreak, fucking Iron Fleet gets destroyed by Drogon.
that dragon, let's build it up a little bit more. They're there with their big old bow and arrows,
The Scorpions.
super confident that they're gonna get this guy. Dragon just comes in and just
Fucks shit.
burns their fade. They don't even know what to do. They don't know what to go up, down, side to side. This dragon's just Muhammad Ali'ing them.
Well, which is really disappointing because, like, why didn't that happen the episode before when they took down the other dragon?
Well, you see, I thought about that too, but I saw the conviction and seriousness in Dragon Lady's eyes this time. Like this time,
Daenerys.
huh?
Daenerys.
Yeah, she was just like,
Well, that was also so Daenerys is having like a Mad Queen moment where I never thought of that because
I wouldn't consider it a mad queen moment.
Well,
They just
her dad-
killed they just killed the lady. She just wanted to become a better queen and was seeking the affection of Jon Snow. She's a stranger in a strange land, and she has one person to comfort her about the decisions that she made to lose her 2 children and her army that she has. And she is essentially shunned away.
well, it's just I don't know. Anywho's.
I mean, her love interest literally shunned her away. She's lost 2 of her dragons, her children,
Well,
and almost
she
more.
doesn't realize that he's shunned her away once he's in the battlefield, once he's in King's Landing. So I think we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Well, okay, we'll go back
so-
to okay. The dragon comes in, messes up the Iron Fleet.
Yeah, fucks up the Iron Fleet. Fucks up. And then, so King's Landing actually surrenders. The bells start to ring. They open the gate. There's all of the King's Landing, I guess the Golden Compass army.
They basically throw down their weapons.
Yeah.
Not just if you're wondering about like the scorpions and whatnot, all those things get destroyed.
Yeah.
There's none left. It's basically just it's over. The dragon's just gonna keep doing
The
his
dragon-
dragon thing.
Fuck shit up.
So she lands. She's waiting for that essential point of, are they gonna do it? And Cersei
Cersei is the queen.
is having a dilemma, and she's like, no, they're gonna fight to the last, draw. But they're not. They give up. They're basically begging her, please, please ring the bell. Please, come on. She hesitates. I never hear her make the command to ring the bell.
But they ring the bell.
So I feel like they rang the bell even though she didn't
Well,
want
that's
to.
what they kept saying. Like, Tyrion was like, once they realized that the queen cannot defend them or whatever, they're going to give up. And they're going to submit to Daenerys. And that's what he was counting on. And that's exactly what they did. But instead of Daenerys being happy with that,
Oh no,
this,
she has a breakdown. It's like,
you could see her, like, thinking of Miss Sandy's fucking chopped off head. And she's like, you know what? Fuck this. And then she goes and starts lighting up King's Landing, the fucking place that she has been fighting for years, trying to get control of. And she starts fucking burning it down.
which is, me and her disagree on this, but I would have done the same thing. I would have just been like, you know what? Burn it all down.
Well, that's because...
Come on, Pookie.
Me and you have completely different personalities where you're destructive because...
Burn it all down.
Yeah, because you're excited and happy to be destructive, where I'm more, like, reserved.
I'm sorry. And then, I mean, what's to say if she wouldn't have done it, those green bombs wouldn't have gone off later. So when they started to go off in the city, I was like, yeah. I was that probably added to her thing, like, oh, this was what was going to happen. And she was just like, just keep burning it all down till there's nothing left.
You know what? Okay, so we're going to go off a little off topic. So I'm on Reddit quite a bit, specifically for Game of Thrones. Yeah. And there was a lot of theories that there was gonna be more dragons, and I was for it. I was like, yes, bring me more dragons. I want more than Drogon. Like, we need more dragons. This cannot die with
And
Drogon.
then I had some kind of like weird theory where like she was gonna get killed, and then Jon Snow was gonna control the dragon. It was gonna be like an epic little
Which
like
totally would have happened because Jon Snow is a Targaryen.
Yeah, I know. So I just want to say that in the least likely scenario, like me being a mad girlfriend or like a spiteful girl, this is the outcome
Which
that
you
I saw.
truly are.
Yeah, this is what I saw. Like I literally in my head when we were talking about like our theories, in my head I saw, because of what was happening, everybody was gonna be like, okay, so she helped out, but whatever, she's not our queen. Everybody's gonna come into an agreement. She's already lost her army. We don't care about her. And she was gonna turn around to Jon Snow and be like, hey, baby, can you make me feel good? And he's gonna be like, not right now. And she's gonna be like, I'm just gonna burn it all down. And I was like, they wouldn't go that petty route. They really wouldn't. I was thinking like they're gonna have some kind of development where she's gonna do this. There's gonna be a lot of, but
They went that petty
they
route.
went that petty route. Because honestly, I mean, it was a petty thing for her to do.
It really was.
Because she had literally accomplished all the goals that she had wanted to in that moment right there.
And she still chose.
And you know, in that one moment, I could see her in her head deciding, this is it. This is all I ever wanted. It's in my hands now. Now I will act regal, land the dragon, go up to her, take her down, maybe have her in front of a public execution, and then she'd get the same satisfaction of what happened to Miss Sandy.
Mm-mm.
But no, she was just like, I'm gonna go full petty on this.
Mm-hmm. And so she starts lighting up King's Landing. And so...
Purposely, I'm pretty sure she knew that Xerxes was gonna see all this.
Yeah. And so while all of this is happening, we see Arya and the Hound arrive in King's Landing.
Which is a dumb idea. Just a
No.
big old dumb idea.
No, this
well,
is...
for Arya.
No,
not for the Hound.
This was gonna be her ending story arc, and this is what upsets me. So they are going through King's Landing. They are encountering many obstacles. They're encountering crowds, trying to go the opposite way they are because of the dragon.
Well, they're trying to retreat. Like everybody's trying to retreat into the gates.
And they are going the opposite way. They are trying to get the Red Keep.
They're going into the like everybody else. Everybody else is trying to get into the gates for safety.
And
they end up making it.
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't end up making it
Jamie.
is Fake Handman.
Jamie.
Which at the same time I wanted him to make it, but I'm glad that the way that he didn't make it, because he ended up meeting discount George Clooney, or True Value, Great Value George Clooney. What's his name? Euron. Which I'm kind of not satisfied with the way he died.
You're getting ahead of ourselves.
But go ahead.
Okay. So we see Arya and the Hound trying to make it to the Red Keep because they know that is where Cersei is. That is where the Hound, or no, not the Hound, the mountain is. And so they actually make it into the Red Keep. They make it to, I guess, what's it called? Like a little atrium area where it shows like the map of the Seven Kingdoms. And the Hound gives this little speech like, you need to go back to Arya. Like, you're gonna die if you stay here. And he's like, I'm gonna die, whatever. And so Arya actually leaves. And that really, like, was a big, like, disappointment to me because I feel like Arya's story arc from the beginning was she did not care if she died, that she would fucking take them all down, everybody on her goddamn list.
You got, I could have seen this happening because the Hound really did have a death wish. He really had nothing to lose. He had one goal set in mind, and then after that goal happened, I am not sure he could have lived with himself the way that he was.
But really, what would Arya have to live after that? Because she turned down Gendry's proposal.
Yeah. She turned it down, which means that throughout that whole time, it wouldn't be in the back of her mind. And then, let's not go with the trauma that she went through with the whole White Walkers thing. It was a very traumatic experience for her going through all that. You could see in the series. And then her getting to that point, because when they enter the gates, she just sees the panic. She doesn't really get to see the one-on-one hand of what the dragon's doing. But when she gets to that area, everything's just crumbling, falling apart. And you gotta understand, it's a big old thing that's been solid. She's been there for a while and she knows it. She sees it all crumbling and it starts freaking her out. And he gives her the speech like, this is what they hear the dragon, you can feel the dragon. So again, he gives her the choice and she's like, you know what, this guy's right.
I just feel like her character from season 1 to season 7 would never have abandoned her like whole goal to kill Cersei. I
feel like she realized that she was in a situation that was just it's like if you're going to kill somebody and an atomic bomb is going off. And No,
I still feel like she would still go, like, true to character, even knowing that an atomic bomb was about to kill everybody in that goddamn kingdom, that she would go and make sure that Cersei would die by her hand.
Like I said,
I just feel like that was a very big disappointing part for me.
And again, I might be fast forwarding a little bit, but afterwards when she's leaving, I can see the character development, how she's seeing, like, she doesn't even care. She's not even thinking about Cersei. All she's thinking is like, look at all this shit. And
well, so that's one thing. The next disappointment for me was Clegane Bowl was not a fucking Clegane Bowl. Like, we see the Hound, we see the Mountain, and they finally have this final fight. We see the Mountain without his goddamn helmet. We see that he's got, like, this weird zombified look. But I was just expecting a bigger and more epic battle between the two. I did not expect it to end so soon. I expected it to be, like, a fucking gnarly-ass fight. Not like this little sword fight on the stairs that it was.
Again, I hope that they're both dead, but I feel like it's gonna be that thing where, like, his hand comes up from the bricks. The way that they left it where he falls, I really think that the mountain's just gonna be like,
Yeah, because, like, the hound did stab him. He stabbed him through the
in the
abdomen. He
face.
stabbed him through the neck. He stabbed him through the goddamn forehead. And this bitch still lived. And you would think that he would die after all of
And
that.
he
But then
proceeded to
what? Yeah.
crush his eyes like a bunch of
Yeah.
cherry
Oh,
tomatoes.
man. He was gonna go fucking Oberon on him, fucking squeeze his eyes out,
Like little
and
plump cherry
and I was,
tomatoes.
yeah, and I was like, oh my god, they're gonna end this like that. And you know what? If they would have ended Clegane with the hound squishing his little cherry tomato eyes out, I would have been satisfied. I
mean,
really would have.
I mean, okay, as this is going on, like I said, I really, in my head, I was like, they're gonna. I had told her that I thought Arya was gonna die. Remember I told you that, and you said no, they can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I was like, she really is gonna die. She's gonna die in this episode. The Golden Hand dude's gonna die. The little Tyrion's gonna die, and I expected either Jon Snow or Dragon Lady to die.
Mm-hmm.
Remember I had told you all that?
Yeah.
But, I mean, the way that they went about it, I was like, oh man.
Yeah, well, so we should.
She should have. Technically, I think Arya should have died in that whole thing.
Oh, no.
The way that it,
No.
the way that, I mean, I'm not saying that I didn't want her to die, but I'm saying the way that they scaled the destruction, there's no way she could have survived.
You know what? Okay, at this rate, I think Arya is going to survive the series, but that's
She's
besides the
gonna,
point.
for sure she's gonna survive the series.
Okay, so
I hope Jon Snow doesn't survive the series.
I don't think Jon Snow is going
he
to
was
survive
really
this series.
disappointing in this episode.
Yeah. So throughout the episode, you could see, them fighting, and them as I mean, like Daenerys's army. That's gonna be Jon Snow. That's gonna be Sir Davos. That's gonna be the Unsullied Grey Worm against, fucking
Red-
Cersei's army.
Yeah, what are they called? The
they're
Red
red-
Compass?
Or
The
no,
red-
the Golden Compass.
Golden Compass.
And you know what? They're fucking them up. There's a lot of bloodshed.
Well, the dragon does the majority of the work, which really shakes the army. It really it really has a psychological effect with it. Like, you know what, you got a dragon, man. You know, I'm just gonna throw the sword down. So they end up essentially giving up. The bells ring, and at this point, the guy that was totally in love with, lady.
Daenerys.
No, the lady. The girl that got her head chopped off, lady.
Oh, Grey Worm.
No, the lady.
Yeah, Grey Worm.
That's the lady's name?
No, Missandei.
Missandei, there you go. So, the giving up, and he's just like, in his head, he's like, no. He's like, what you did to Missandei is just not gonna fly with the I give up thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he, in his way, turns, very petty too, and he just spears one of them. And the rest of the army is just like, yeah, let's
I just
go for it.
don't blame him for that.
I don't blame him or Dragon Lady for what they did. I really don't.
Okay, well, anywho's, let's go back to where we were in chronological order. So, Jaime gets to King's Landing. He gets to the gate.
We were at the Hound and thing. Okay.
And so they die. They both died. The Hound.
And in between all that's going on.
Yeah.
Jaime's trying to get to her, and he finds her. He finds her in the underground.
No, you're going too far. Because we need to talk about Jaime and Euron.
Okay.
So Jaime lands, he shows up in King's Landing. He manages to get through a couple of gates, and
he's going the back way. He's going the escape route. And who happens to wash up shore?
It's Euron Greyjoy. And so Euron and Jaime decide that they're gonna fucking fight. They start fighting. Euron lands a good fucking blow on Jaime. He stabs him
twice.
Yeah, like he knows that Jaime is going to die from this fucking stab wound. And so like they're fighting. Jaime ends up stabbing Euron Greyjoy, leaves him to die, and Euron, we are left with Euron like looking into the camera, or not into the camera, but looking up and saying like, I'm going to be remembered as the person that killed the Kingslayer, Jaime Lannister. And so Jaime ends up finding Cersei in that same area where Arya and the Hound uh, like parted ways with the whole map of King's Landing or the Seven Kingdoms, whatever. And he leads her, or well, they are reunited, and Cersei and Jaime fucking hug. And this entire time, I'm just like, fucking stab her, Jaime.
I thought it was a double cross too. I thought he was gonna be like,
exactly.
this is it. But no, it doesn't happen. They're actually both really glad to see each other.
And that was also like one of my huge disappointments, because I wanted Jaime to fucking stab her in the throat, stab her in the heart, something.
Especially after
everything
after
that they've done.
Great Value, George Clooney says, yeah, I totally did her.
Totally
hard.
Totally banged the queen.
Yeah. And he doesn't. He forgets about it. But I think he's at the point that he knows he's gonna die too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for how tough and like evil they showed Cersei throughout the whole time, and how they built her up, the way that they broke her down in the last minutes of that dragon attacking, and how she saw essentially everything, like she literally, everything that she got built up to be conniving and evil and like the worst of the worst, literally got broken down just by watching that dragon destroy everything. She just saw it and she was like,
I feel in my heart George R.R. Martin, when he eventually writes the book, will not have Cersei crumbling so easily under pressure.
Well, I mean, like, it's just it's a common sense thing. When people talk big talks and they have a big old thing, when the shit hits the fan, they end up folding like a chair.
I feel like Cersei has been.
She has literally said to Jaime, I don't want to die. I want to live because of my baby. I want to live. I don't want it to end this way.
Yeah, but that's when they're finally.
I mean, I felt like that she had that in the back of her head.
Yeah, well, Cersei and Jaime, they end up doing what Tyrion suggested. They go under this
catacombs.
route, that will lead them to a shore that has the dinghy where they can escape. But they find that because the dragon has done so much damage in the
decimating
city,
everything.
Yeah, that this exit that they were anticipating has completely been blocked off by rubble, and they both end up dying, embracing under an avalanche of stone.
Unfair way. She got way too good of a death for me to expect. She got a good death. She got to hold the person that she essentially was in love with.
Yes.
And then die in their arms, which is like too good of a death for her. I really just wanted her to fly in with a dragon, her look up and just be like, wow.
Exactly. Like, I wanted to see Cersei.
And then not eat her all, just
fucking skeleton. I wanted to see Cersei screaming. I wanted to see Cersei looking in the eyes of Jaime as he's stabbing her, something.
Or Arya just like,
Yes, like wearing Jaime's face and stabbing her. Anything but what was actually given to us in the show.
But, which leads me to believe that this last episode, it's going to be about stuff.
It has to be, because I'm not gonna lie, this episode is the most disappointing episode I've ever seen in this entire series. It is one of the most anticipated episodes. I literally have been thinking about it since last Sunday. Yeah, she has.
And like I said, I had thought of this theory, but I had never mentioned it because I didn't think that it was essentially something that good writers would come up with. Mm-hmm. This is just natural human nature that would happen.
I
This
feel
is
like
like
this is lazy writing.
no,
To
I
be
feel like
honest.
this is exactly what a person would immediately think. Not someone who's gonna think of it in terms of like the long run. I felt like this is something like tit for tat kind
Well,
of thing.
no. Anywho's, so Cersei, Jamie, they meet their end.
Because it was tit for tat because she wanted to put the fear of God, her, literally in everybody.
Yeah.
So anybody and everybody that was there and that left is going to tell other people what happened, and they're going to tell other people what happened, and they're going to tell other people what happened, and it.
And she's gonna go down in history as a mad queen, just like her father. But that's so we're getting a little off track. So during all of this, we're seeing the people of the kingdom, and they're like trying to run, they're trying to hide. They see the dragon, and like he is a very scary, impending death that you don't know whether or not you're gonna get him. And so we see Arya, she's literally being trampled alive by a crowd while she's trying to run away. And a woman picks her up and they start running. And so this woman tries to make Arya hide with her daughter. And when she opens her eyes, she sees like this whole group of people trying to hide. And she's like, if we stay here, we're gonna die.
Which
So
is the
she
truth.
yeah, and so she grabs this woman. This woman grabs her daughter, and they start trying to run to escape. Fucking Drogon appears above. Um, the mother falls. The daughter stays behind to try and help her mother up. Arya, of course, self preservation kicks in. She tries to hide from Drogon, and everything happens where the mother and daughter end up basically roasting alive together. When she goes back out, she sees their carcasses
It's a big
basically
Pompeii moment.
yeah,
Like everybody's
holding on
just
to each
in
other.
ashes.
And so while she's looking, she sees a white horse covered in blood.
Which is very symbolic. I like it. Like
I
Hell Rider.
Yeah, like that's what I thought of too. And so I was like, this is the only redeeming moment of this goddamn episode. Um, and so she mounts it, and we are left with Arya heading towards.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not really specific on where she's
Yeah,
going.
because it's clear that Cersei is dead. But we are left with Jon Snow and Sir Davos, like throughout the episode, giving each other
Looks
these,
of like how this is just terrible.
Yeah, like
But
I can't
in
believe
essence,
that
is
she's
it
doing
terrible?
this.
Because would Xerxes have had the same mercy that they had in their hearts to these people? Xerxes would have
Cersei would've-
slaughtered every man, child, woman, rat, scarecrow that had their thing. She would have just destroyed everything.
Yeah,
that they
but
had.
that's because it's expected of Cersei. Earlier in the episode, Daenerys is saying how her strength is the mercy that she shows to people, and when it come to shove, she does not show mercy. She decides, Miss Sandy died. I've come this far. I'm gonna show these people what the fuck I'm about. Like, I'm down to one goddamn dragon. And she fucks shit up. And
Yeah,
that
'cause
is.
she says, "You thought you were about that life.
Mhm.
Let me show you what that life is about."
And so that is why I'm very disappointed in this episode, because never did I think that we were gonna go down the Mad Queen route.
I mean, the losses that she amounted were too great for her not to snap. Especially, the snapping point in her mind was getting shunned by Jon Snow. If Jon Snow could have prevented all this, if he just would have given it to her, really, if he would have made love with her, or not even that, just held her and showed her the same affection back, it would have been a completely different outcome.
But I feel like as a regular human being, as a person that did not grow up with like incest, that it would not be something that you would easily give into. Like, He
Well,
knows
it's not
that's
like
his
he
aunt.
didn't sleep with her beforehand.
Yeah, but he didn't know.
Yeah, of course he didn't know.
But now that he does know, he's like, I'm not about that life.
Yeah, I understand that, but like, again, being I mean, it comes down to, I guess, the greater good. Little tiny man did it.
Tyrion.
He literally sacrificed himself, knowing damn well what's gonna happen to him, to try to save it, even though it backfired on him terribly. Because it would have worked if Jon Snow just would have, and like I said, not even like sleeping with her, or not even like a hard makeout session. If you just would have held her and talked to her a little bit more, and discussed like, hey, don't be feeling this way, da 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 da. I know you feel like you're not loved by your people, because she was really, I mean, she really drove the point of like fear, and she delivered on it. By the way, I think the mountain's still alive. I think they're gonna do that thing where the hand comes up.
Don't say that.
and it's
I
gonna
will
be like
so pissed off if the mountain is still
I'm
alive.
saying it right now. Prediction: mountain's gonna be like.
Okay, back to predictions then. Who do you think is going to end up on the Iron Throne after all of this?
It's a hard thing to say because like I honestly like now the way that it's going. I think the only way that they're gonna be able to kill Dragon Lady is if Jon Snow and Arya team up to take her down.
I think Jon Snow will end up killing her. But
I don't think he'll end up killing her. I think what's gonna happen is he's gonna like talk to her so much, and she's gonna lose so much confidence in him that she's gonna like try to kill him, but in self-defense he's gonna end up killing her.
Yeah, like at this point I feel like they're gonna end up killing each other. And so for as far as who's going to end up on the Iron Throne, who do you think is going to? Because now at this point I do not think it's Jon Snow or Daenerys Targaryen.
I'm still got my coins on Daenerys. But if I were to have to choose an alt, it would be a blacksmith guy.
Gendry?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. I was thinking Arya more, but yeah, Gendry.
I mean, because technically Arya wouldn't be able to get the Iron Throne if blacksmith dude's still there.
Technically, but I don't know. I just think that
I don't think they would give Arya the Iron Throne, just as a writer's
or maybe
perspective.
Sansa.
Which one's that one?
The sister, the redhead in Winterfell.
No, I feel like, again, don't hate me, but I feel like the point that Dragon Lady's crossed already, she should just go back and kill her, just out of pettiness.
No, I don't think that she'll do that because it's too far. That's taking her dragon too far away from where it's important. But I honestly think Jon and Daenerys will kill each other. I don't think Gendry will want to be king. I don't
know, because he seemed really happy to take lordship.
Yeah, he was happy to take lordship because before then he was considered a bastard.
Yeah, so he was happy to take lordship, and I think that if it's given to him, he'll think maybe if he gets the Iron Throne, he'll be able to get Arya.
I think he'll draw the line there.
No, I think he'll think it'll be something that Arya will be like.
What do you think's gonna happen to Tyrion?
I think he's gonna die, to be honest with you. He's gonna get killed.
But why or how? Who do you think is going to kill him?
Dragon Lady's gonna kill him because she's gonna catch wind of that dude escaped.
Okay.
And them not being able to find the queen's body, or the what's his name, Iron Hand dude. He's gonna self-incriminate himself and be like, yeah, I had this plan and it worked, but we had an agreement that you weren't gonna do this. So I think he's gonna be really forward with her.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be like, I'm the queen. It didn't matter what you thought was gonna happen. I made the choice of what was gonna happen at that point.
Okay.
And then I think Spear Dude's gonna just spear the tiny dude.
Grey Worm?
Yeah, he's gonna spear him. Just
I don't see that happening. But okay.
just because he's gonna be on that high, we're like, yeah, and he's gonna hear that he let him go. He wanted the queen to escape. The queen that beheaded his love. And he just went through all this fight, killing all these people, and he's gonna find out that tiny dude let him go so that they could live a happy life that he's not gonna get. And he's just gonna
It's gonna fuck shit up. Alright. Well,
we went way over our time.
That's pretty much our review and our predictions. Let us know what you think about it. See you next week.